in our lives and how it's costing us living, how we are throwing away our lives by stressing out, worrying, and feeling anxious. So today's episode is all about empowering you with techniques to recognize it and what you can do about it, and how you can get on top of your stress, worry, and anxiety, and better control how you respond to situations, and how you can get control of your life and take it into the direction that you want to take it in. So let's get underway with the topic and defining what is stress, worry, and anxiety. And yes, they're all interlinked, as you've probably realized. So stress, again, there's many forms of stress. So if we're talking mental stress, then it's certainly linked to worry and anxiety. There's also physical stresses, which can result in mental stress. So what do I mean by physical stress? Physical stresses are the amount of exertion, physical activity. So it can be over-exercising, can be a physical stress on the body. It just can be just doing too much and not allowing enough rest. Physical stress can be created through lack of sleep. So sleep deprivation can create that physical stress. It is, in essence, where our body's not restoring and repairing. So it's not doing the regeneration phase, and that happens at night, or we are putting too much stress on our body, physical stress, that it can't get the repair work done at night, and it needs a number of nights to do the repair work. So yes, we can create physical stress through overactivity and not allowing enough rest and rejuvenation. There's also chemical stresses which come from the environment. So these are what we call the sort of those endocrine disruptors. So endocrine disruptors are the chemicals that are man-made, that are artificial, that are toxic when inside of our body. And there's many ways in which we can induce these toxic chemicals. We can do it through eating, so in the food chain, drinking, in the water supply, and just general exposure from day to day, such as household cleaning chemicals. And when we consume, like, say, fish have been living in the sea. The sea's accumulated a whole lot of toxic waste, and that finds its way into the food chain within the sea, and that finds its way into our food chain. And so these microplastics can cause a toxicity, a level of toxicity in our body, which causes inflammation and can cause all sorts of problems within our body, that excessive inflammation, particularly if we have continued exposure to that chemical stress. It's okay, having one-off exposures and our body has time to recuperate and detoxify. But if we've got repeated exposure, such as mold exposure that may be in the house, the mold spurs, and that constant exposure is too much for the body. It's too much stress for the body. So, and then we have the mental stresses. So these are probably the worries we have in our life and the past traumas that we haven't got over. So it's either the past is running us or the future is running us. A worry in the future, so typically is, a worry will be created through us, not wanting to lose something that we are infatuated over. So we have an infatuation over it. We have a attachment to it. So it could be a relationship. We don't want to lose that. And so we start to worry about the potential or the nightmare of losing that loved one. And the other one is someone coming into our lives that we don't want. So that person that comes into our, we don't want to ever see that person again. So it's that disliked person or resented person popping into our lives and featuring in our life. And we worry about running into that person. Or it could just be, things from the past that are popping up, and then we worry about that happening that you allow, I guess, your mind to run away and catastrophize the outcome, make it the worst case scenario. So that's worries. And then, so these stresses and worries will play out in our body. They will manifest out in these forms of feeling anxious. So we will get anxious when we are uncertain about future events and we can't control it. we will start to feel what it's like experiencing or playing out that event in the future. We start to feel it in our body. And so, what to look out for if you're thinking, well, do I do this? Well, it's uneasiness, easy in the stomach, that nauseation, and you feel like vomiting. So that can be that you're actually playing out that future event. Your mind's running away, it's playing out, and your body's actually experiencing that, what it feels like being in uncertain in that situation and not knowing what to do. And you're starting to feel uneasy.